Hello ActionAiders, I am Laura Hurtado, Country Director for ActionAid Guatemala. I am very pleased to speak to you today through Leader's Voice. ActionAid Guatemala was established as a country program back in 1997 after the peace accords were signed between the government, the state representatives, and the revolutionary movement, URNG. We became an affiliate in 2012 and have gone through 3 strategies by now. Over the past years, citizenship, progressive and democratic forces, along with United Nations Commission, have been struggling against corruption and impunity. Past August, we had elections once again, and the candidate that could have gathered all these progressive and democratic forces was eliminated. In fact, she was the former general attorney and had to go to exile. In this situation, a right-wing president is now elected, and he will be assuming power in January 2020. Past September 4th, Presidente Morales decided to state a state of siege, which means that a big territory in the country, in fact 22 municipalities, are now being controlled by the army. This affects us very much because 3 out of 5 LRPs we work on are under these conditions. They are actually militarized territories. Guarantees have been eliminated, right of expression, right of meeting, mobilization have been restricted, and people are living in fear. For women, especially, it is a very anguishing situation because they have experienced fear in the past during the internal armed conflict. Immediately after the state of siege was announced by the government and confirmed by the Congress, we had to stop the activities in order not to risk our staff and also our partner organization staff. We had meetings to analyze the current situation. We did risk analysis and we went through a review of our plan and budget in order to adapt to new conditions. We also met with other civil society organizations that work in the territory in order to fix a common plan of all the organizations and identify the main activities, whether these are communications or security plans, political actions or legal defense. It is an opportunity for us to strengthen alliances and networking. I think this is the main defense facing this difficult situation. As ActionAid, we should contribute in what I said previously, in working in networks and building up alliances among civil society organizations. We must stop the regressive laws that are in the Congress now and that the government has been trying to pass out. We must also try to bring consciousness overseas and in other countries about what's going on in Guatemala. Seen from Guatemala, we think that we are facing the worst conditions for our work, but then you realize that it's not Guatemala. This is a very common situation. Different countries, different people are facing all around the world. But even in these conditions, we must continue to work to make human rights possible, to make human rights, human dignity a reality, and especially for our countries in the South, where indigenous communities and indigenous women and children are the most affected people. We must continue to work very strongly, and all our efforts are very valuable. Thank you.